السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي المحمود بالنعم المرغوب بالنعم تقدس بالملكوت وتعزز بالجبروت. والصلاة والسلام على الأفضل العدد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Brothers, sisters, youth, boys, girls over there upper side, this holy verse of the Quran is a verse of the Quran which is demanding from us our responsibility. And what is the demand of the Quran is to think, to ponder, to reflect while you are reciting the Holy Quran. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Why don't you reflect? Why don't you ponder in the verses of the Holy Quran? أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Are there the locks of your heart so that you are not reflecting and thinking and pondering in the treasures of the knowledge of the Quran? So the main demand and need and the etiquettes and the manners of the recitation of the Holy Quran is not just only to recite it, just not only to pronounce its wording, also to penetrate in the immense knowledge of the Holy Quran. So this is one of the demands of the Holy Quran, the reflection, thinking, pondering. And there are numerous and innumerable aspects of the Holy Quran to know it, to recognize it, to understand it. For this very brief account, I would put over here a couple of ayahs of the Holy Quran as a book of the knowledge of the universe and the sciences. Couple of books, a verse of the ayah of the Holy Book I want to present over here with its translation and some interpretation. And this discussion would reveal and would prove that up to this era and the period after the 40 centuries of the revelation, Quran has the same power, strength and the immense knowledge to be explored. Up to this point as well. And I'm going in the chronological order, and this verse I'm reciting of the Surah Al-Hijr. I just composing this speech over here. Surah Al-Hijr, which is the 15th surah of the Holy Quran. And these two verses of the Surah Al-Hijr, 15th chapter of the surah of the Holy Quran, 14 and 15 verse numbers. And these two verses of the Holy Quran, they are responsible and the representative of the truth of the whole Quran. If there would be only these two verses in the Quran, they were sufficing that the Quran is the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran, these two verses would be sufficing that the heart and the chest upon which Allah revealed the Holy Quran, the heart of the Prophet, he was Sadiq, Musaddiq and Ameen and trustworthy as well. And this is about the conquest of the moon, when men reached upon the moon. And before I would recite those verses, I would quote from the modern history of the astronomy. That in 1957 they started to send the animals in the space. Russia, Soviet Union by that time they started. And by 1957 they sent the dogs and the cats and monkeys and other animals as well. And the first man who reached in the space, he was Mr. Gagarin in 1961. The first man in the space, Russian astronaut. And when he was in the space, naturally the animals and the donkeys and the dogs, they can reveal their feelings. The first man, when he reached in the space, and due to the lack of the gravitational forces, to the lack of the weight loss and the floating in the space and the air, he was feeling very strange feelings, and he relayed his message to Earth. And his message has been inscribed in every planetarium and in the book of the astronomy as well. What did he say? Exact wordings I'm quoting from there, and then I will recite the holy verses of the Holy Quran. What happened to my eyes? What did it happen to my eyes? And what I am looking from my eyes, it looks like to me that I am intoxicated, I am under the influence of the wine, intoxicated, or I am under the effect of the magic. I am bewildered by the magic, or I am under the influence of the alcohol, intoxicated. What I am seeing from the eyes, amazingly, whatever Gagarin in 1961, he uttered his word in the space while he was feeling like that, floating in the space. 14 centuries before, the same word became Quran revealed in the Surah Al-Hajj. In the 14th and the 15th ayah, if we would open upon them only one door of heaven. Look over here. Fatahna Baba min as-sama, one door of heaven. It means there are other doors and the ways to reach the heaven as well. Some door of the heaven is also the door and the pathway of the Miraj as well. وَلَوْ فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَابًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَظَلُّوا فِيهِ يَعْرُجُونَ. And if they would climb toward the sky, toward the heaven, لَقَالُوا, they would say, لَقَالُوا سَلَامًا. About the Mi'raj also, it has its scientific also interpretation as well, how we have to understand the Mi'raj as well. You are sitting upon the floor, you have your observation, you have your knowledge according, you are sitting upon the floor. It is limited. If you would stand up, your reach, your observation would be increased. Now you will look more, your circumference of the knowledge, salawat. You are sitting upon the floor, you have your knowledge and observation, but it is limited. Now you stood up, your range of observation, the knowledge increased more, multiplied. Now, if you go upon the roof of your house, you are looking the whole neighborhood as well. If you go the high rise of your city, whole city, you are observing. These satellites, which they are in the space, the geo space, 20,000